There is one crucial difference between positive beliefs and negative beliefs. And understanding this difference is the key to actually eliminating your limiting beliefs. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, because I spent years of my life just going around and around and around and around and around in circles, never fixing anything. And the key that changed everything for me was understanding that positive beliefs, they need to be nurtured. You need to reinforce them. Whereas negative beliefs, on the other hand, they are wild, they are crazy, they are audacious, and they don't require any reinforcement from you. So let me tell you what that means in practice. If you have a negative or limiting belief, as they call it, about yourself, maybe you think that you are not good enough to get the promotion. What's going to happen is subconsciously you're going to be sabotaging yourself because you don't believe you're worthy for the function, so you don't speak up in the meeting. You don't give the extra 10%. Your work is just mediocre because you believe that's just who you are. And so, because you believe you're not good enough, or you're not worthy enough, or you're not confident enough, or you're not good looking enough, or you're not whatever enough, you're not going to put in the 100% effort required to get there. And now, because of that, you won't get the results that you want to get out of life. And that reinforces the fact that you are not good enough. And so, one limiting belief leads to limited action, leads to poor outcomes, which reinforces the negative belief. That is the loophole that I was stuck in for years and years of my life, until I finally learned how to break out, which I'm going to teach you in the rest of this video. But first, let's look at positive beliefs. Because even if I believe that I'm the motherfucking GOAT, the best of the best, the greatest human being that ever walked the earth, which of course is not entirely true, but let's say I believe that. Guess what? Now I still need to prove it. I need to back it up with something. Because otherwise my mind is going to say, no, Michael, you, sir, are full of crap. So with the positive beliefs, you need to reinforce them. And you do that not just through words, as I was trying to do. I tried all of these self-help advice. Like, oh, just shout positive affirmations in the mirror. Like, make a list of what you're good at, what you're not so good at, what you're improving upon. A lot of these things. But they never actually worked. Because I wasn't putting in the effort required to prove to myself that I was the person that I said I was. So here's a writer downer if you're taking notes. Your mind, it needs proof, not promises of you getting better. So if I wanted to create the identity for myself and the belief in myself that I am an avid learner or an avid reader, what I would do is that today I will open a book and I will read. Or I will go to YouTube or an online course that I have in my library and I press play on the educational video. I take notes. And then the next day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a book, or I'm going to continue with the course and take notes and actually learn. And the next day, I'm going to do the same freaking thing, because you affirm a positive belief through both your words, but more importantly, your actions. And now with that difference like clear, how do you actually go from shifting a negative belief onto a positive one? Because that's ultimately what we need to do, right? So the first step here is you need to watch what you're saying to other people externally, but more importantly, what we say to ourselves in our own head. Here's the thing. If I wanted to go 100 miles west, I'm not sure if that direction is west, but let's just say I'm going that direction. If I now take a mile or 1,000 steps in that direction, the distance between where I want to go and where I am is only going to get bigger. And so that's why you need to stop reinforcing the negative beliefs about yourself. So for example, if you want to be more disciplined, but you have that nagging voice in the back of your head saying, You're not a disciplined person. You can never finish anything. You're just a loser. Guess what? That is taking you away from the goal instead of moving towards it. So, what you can do here is just go to the toy store, buy a bag of marbles or paper clips or literally anything you can carry in a pocket. And what you do throughout your day is anytime you catch yourself saying one of those things to yourself, one of those negative beliefs, you take the marble out of your pocket and you place it in another pocket. Now the game becomes, can I, by the end of the day, or even if you're getting good at this, by lunchtime, can I have emptied one pocket and put all of them in another one? And what you're doing is you're bringing awareness to what that little fucking stupid voice inside of your head is saying to you. You know the one. The one that just tells you you're not good enough. That voice of doubt. And as a quick side note, that voice, it is not the real you. Stop listening to it. Because that voice is an echo of what other people have made you feel at some point in the past. So, for example, for me, I never wanted to really stand out for most of my life. And the reason is that I used to be bullied for years and years of my life. And so I made the connection. I made the belief for myself that if I become invisible, I'm not going to be a target. But that doesn't work when you have to put yourself out there for dating, for example, or to show your best self at work instead of blending in. And so those voices inside of my own head that told me I'm not good enough, I'm a loser, everyone is against you, just not be seen, those voices came from there. It is a bit much to go into how to resolve that trauma from the past, but for now, please realize that those negative, doubting voices, they're not you. They are echoes of what other people have said to you. They are echoes of how other people have made you feel at some point in your past. Because, let's face it, not a single person wakes up hating himself or hating herself. Everyone is born with confidence. Everyone is like born just liking himself or herself. But then things happen in our lives. And that's what create those echoes, those doubting, limiting beliefs, those voices inside of our own head. And so that's a long way of saying bring more awareness to it. But then once you catch yourself, I want you to literally tell yourself, this is an echo. This is not the real me. This is something that other people have said to me before. And maybe if you can trace it back to a particular experience, you can literally say, hey, this is just that thing from 10 years ago showing up in my life right now. And just the fact that you can put it in perspective, that you can rationalize it, that makes the effects hold less power over you. But that's not where we're going to stop about changing beliefs from negative ones to positive ones. We can go further. Now, the method that I use for this is very simple, but very powerful. So once you catch yourself, once you notice you saying, oh, I'm just a loser. I'm not good enough. I can never do this. I'm not a confident person. When you notice those voices inside of your own head, what I want you to do is correct yourself. And you put it from present tense into the past tense. So the way that shows up would be something like, oh no, I used to be a loser. That is the second step. So step one, awareness. Step number two, make it the past tense. Step number three is very simple. What you do now is you insert a good belief that you do want to have. But there is one crucial distinction here. And that is it needs to be believable. That's weird, right? That a belief needs to be believable. That's literally the point. And here's how you make it believable. What you do is you make something that is growth oriented. You make it about getting better. You make it about learning. You make it about improving. Because if I go from I'm a loser to I'm a motherfucking badass, That's not going to work, is it? Because they are too far apart. And my mind is going to say, wrong answer. You just lost. That's not the real you. Because the gap is too big. So what you do in that example is that you go from I'm a loser to no, I used to be a loser, but now I'm getting better every single day. I'm making steps to improve my life, improve my social skills, improve my career. That's not something a loser does. I am getting better and better every damn day. That can be your positive belief. And it works because it's gradual, it is growth oriented, and it doesn't create this narrative of something that you're clearly not right now, but something that you're working towards. And what you do then, as step number 4, is you take action. And the way you can do this is that every day you make a promise to yourself. You say, my most pressing goal for my career or for my life is my career right now. So what I'm going to do is every day I'm going to study a new skill that I need in order to get a promotion. Or every single day I'm going to speak up with at least one key insight in our daily meeting. And you make this promise to yourself of today I will do this thing. Or if health and fitness is your priority right now, you say every day after dinner I'm going to go for at least a 45-minute walk. Or every day I'm going to have at least 15 minutes of exercise. You make that promise and you keep that promise, because that reinforces the fact that you're actually moving forward. Because again, what did you just write down? Hopefully, your mind needs what? It needs proof over promises of you getting better. So step number 4 in this process of changing a negative belief to a positive one is to reinforce it with action. But then there's also the 5th step here. And that is very simple. What you do now is you freaking celebrate that freaking win. Because you did it. And what you want to do here is you build proof upon proof upon proof upon proof. Because a lot of times we don't take ourselves, we actually take ourselves for granted too much. And because of that, we don't even see our own daily wins. And because we don't see them, because we don't recognize them, they go unnoticed. So literally, if you go for the 45-minute walk or you spoke up in the meeting, literally just pat yourself on the freaking shoulder. You did it. I want you to make those things visible to yourself. And maybe what you can do is you can take a sort of a planner or a diary or something, and you just write down what your wins were. And by making them more visible, you are reinforcing the fact that you are growing from that limiting belief that you are a loser to the person you want to be, that you're getting better. You do that one day at a time through changing the words you say to yourself, to putting them in the past tense, to then inserting a new positive belief, backing that belief up by action, and then celebrating those wins. Those are the 5 steps required to change a limiting belief to a positive one. And when you follow them, it's going to work. But the caveat is that it's very simple, but it's not always easy to do. So in order to make this way more practical, what I've done is I've created a free training and a workbook that I call the Straight Line Confidence System. And what this is going to do is it's going to help you to reinforce that identity, that you are good enough, that you are capable, that you are getting better. And it uses this idea of making and keeping promises to yourself so that you have that trust in yourself, so that you don't have all of the insecurities from the outside world affecting you so much. Because you know who you are, you know where you're heading, and you know that you got your own back. So if you want to get that training for absolutely free, there's going to be a link right below this video where you can get that. Or if you're watching this on like Instagram or Facebook, you can comment the word confidence and then we'll send it to you straight away. And with that being said, my name is Michael. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe if you're not already, so that I can bring more content to you, so that you can actually break through. break free from limiting beliefs so that you can become the version of yourself that you have always dreamt of being.